Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele Fash. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. If you're a return subscriber, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you. Thank you so much for always coming back. Okay, so today's setting is one kind. Yes, I know that. I'd already set up. See my light. I'd already set up, right? And I was going to shoot this video because I have to shoot this video today because I made a promise to you guys, especially on Instagram, and people have been asking that when are you making it, so I have to absolutely make it, and also because I really want to make this video because it's very important to me. Okay, so today my mom is 55 years old. Today is her 55th birthday, so happy birthday, mom. If you're watching this, you know I love you. You know I am always thankful for you, for having you as my mom. You are an amazing woman, and today I want to dedicate this video to her. Now, so I know she does not like it when we talk about her and some of the things that she has done and stuff. She does not really like those things, but today I am going to offend you, mom, so I'm apologizing in advance, right? One of these days I'm going to do a video with her so you guys can see her. Okay, please forgive me for the noise. My windows are open, I'm using daylight. Okay, so anyways, today I'll be sharing 10 lessons. Today she's 55 years old. Okay, that's 55. I decided to make it 10 lessons that I have learned from my mom's life. Not the lessons she has taught me, that will probably be a different videos, things that she has taught me, but these are lessons that I have learned just by her being her, just by, you know, growing up with her, just by seeing her, just by watching her, just by experiencing her, just by being her child. Okay, so I'll be sharing 10 of those lessons, and I know it will be helpful to you. I think it will really be helpful to you because especially when it comes to when you become a parent, and you know some of the effects that some of the life that our parents live has on us. Okay, yeah, I anyways, don't let me go into because I'm beginning to start to talk about parenting, but let me just, you know, go straight into it. Okay, so I actually have 15 lessons here, but I'm only going to pick 10 for now. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm going to just pick it randomly. Okay, so these are the questions, these are the lessons I have. Yes, yeah, there are other nonsense on top, but anyways. Okay, let me calm down now. The first lesson that I've learned from my mom, and I think this one even my siblings will agree with me, is prayers. Like, prayer is a seed. Yes, that's the first lesson, that prayer is a seed. Anybody that knows my mom, has no, or probably have encountered my mom, or have even spent one night in her house. Okay, you would be annoyed with my mom, or you might form an impression of my mom that she's too prayerful, she's too passionate about prayer and all of that. And it used to be something that annoyed us as kids. Oh my God, normal people, when they want to sleep, they thank God for their day, and they go to, you know, thank God for the days they've had, pray that God should protect them while they sleep, and they go and sleep. Prayer time in my house where I grew up, you know, 30 minutes you are just warming up. Okay, this is like, you're already tired, you're already sleepy, but we do night devotion, we do morning devotion. Okay, night devotion, everybody come together as a family, we pray, we study the word. Okay, maybe not the word so much, but the prayer, the praises. So sometimes for 1 hour we are still there, we are praying, you understand. And we didn't really like that, especially early morning when, you know, you're waking up, you've been woken around 5 a.m. to start morning devotion. I absolutely dreaded morning devotion. And the fact is that it's not even like maybe when we're young, it still happens till now. When I go to visit my mom, she still wakes me up at 5. That let's have morning devotion. And sometimes I'm annoyed, like, mom, I can pray to God by myself. I don't need us to pray together. But that's a ritual that we all grew up with, and that's a ritual that I hope I'm able to pass to my children. Now, there are many reasons why this is the first lesson, because my mother is a prayer woman. She prays, oh my God. At a point, I literally feel like sometimes God just answers our prayer just as, you know, take, don't kill me, just take and shut up. You understand? Because my mother will drill God. She will drill God to the point where, if I am God, you understand the annoyance of just take the answers to your prayer. That's the kind of person my mom is. There's certain prayer my mom used to pray on us. Every time we do night devotion, she calls each of us by our name. She has certain elements that she has attributed to us. For instance, I'm not saying these are it, but she would, for instance, she might say my sister is the sun. okay? Maybe the sun is the one that comes out first, and then maybe I am the moon and my brother is the star. That's just like an example, okay? I'm not saying that's what she says, but she has certain elements that she uses to pray over us, and she uses the attributes of those elements to pray over our lives and our future. I was still about, I don't know, 9, 10 when my mother started praying for my husband, for our husband, the man that we'll get married to. She started praying about the school, this university we attend. See, if I tell you so many things that has happened as a matter of prayer, like for my, like things that has happened to my mom, you know, I feel like, oh God, if I want to talk about my mom, honestly, we will not, this video is going to have part 1, part 2, part 3, part 5, part 10, okay? But one thing I definitely know is my mother is a mother of prayer. She taught everyone how to pray. I learned how to pray in my dialect through my mom. I never, even when I'm speaking my dialect, I still make mistakes. That's to tell you that I'm not even fluent in it. But I can pray fluently in my dialect because I'm more or less repeating the words she usually says when she prays. So it has become a part of me. And if you're, I don't know, there's a difference. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced it. Like, there's a difference when you're praying to God in English and when you're praying to God in your dialect, when you're praising God in your dialect and stuff. I am so grateful that, you know, she was, because when she prays in her dialect, okay, in Yoruba, okay, and those things started to stick in my head to the extent that when I want to pray right now, you think it's my mom praying because I repeat the same things that she said. And honestly, I hope and I pray that someday, you know, I'll be able to do that for my kids. You know, I remember days in university when, you know, certain things would just happen. People would just be favoring me from no place, nowhere. You know, there's certain prayer my mother has prayed for me as a kid that when I was going through things in my university, when I'm praying to God, God will remind me of that prayer my mom prayed. You understand? And I would just have this peace in my mind, and before the end of that day something will happen. Let me give you a practical example. I remember this day I was broke. Maybe I don't know if I've ever shared about my experience. I think I shared it, but in my earlier videos on my channel where I was talking about my experience in the university, maybe I'll do a story time on that because I did not have a fun time in university. But anyways, I remember this day I was very broke. I was like hungry, and then I was in Ghana. I didn't really have any family member, and I remember I woke up that morning and I was praying to God that, God, I need your provision. I was really crying and tired and just pouring my heart to God. I was writing in my diary, and for some reason there was this prayer my mom used to pray about us, you know, about our future, that unknown people are going to help us, stuff like that. But that prayer it was almost like I was hearing my mom's prayer in my head. And when I heard that, I just felt peace. Do you know that day, you know, I was hosting a program. I went there, and then on my way back, a man offered to give me a lift. When he dropped me, he removed 100 cedis. I think, yeah, is it 100 cedis? Yes, that's like 10,000 naira, and gave it to me. And when I took it, the man told me that, and okay, I took it and I said, thank you so much. So I said, I don't need to thank him, that he's also sowing to the future of his children, that wherever they are, strangers are going to help them. That is the exact prayer that my mother was praying that came to my remembrance that morning before I left there. So that's for you to see. And I've had several instances. See, if I said to tell you the prayer I've done in my mother's life that I have seen point blank, the days that we didn't have anything, you understand? And she would pray and she would tell God, this is it. The days that I didn't have my school fees, see, my mom is one of the reasons why nobody can tell me that prayer does not work. She taught me the power in prayer. She taught me that I can sow, like prayer is a seed I am sowing for my future. I can pray for my future for 10 years, 20 years down the line. Today, I can sow that prayer today. You understand? There are prayers my mother have prayed for us that till today in my marriage, I am still reaping the benefits. Prayer, my mom taught me that prayer is a seed, that prayer is powerful, that there is nothing that cannot be done through prayers. Like, oh God, maybe, I don't know, there are so many examples coming to mind, so many testimonies coming to mind. Is it when my sister, you know, most of you probably, if you've been following my vlog before I got married, you know my niece, you know, my beautiful niece, like I'm so obsessed with, you know, when they gave birth, when, you know, from the whole of her pregnancy, there was no kidney, like literally, they couldn't find her kidneys from the beginning of pregnancy to the end. She was literally only surviving through the placenta, with all thoughts that when this girl will come, you know, that will be the end. But prayers, especially the prayers of your mom, trust me. Anyways, don't let me do it. I think I've dwelled so much on this prayer thing, but I think it's so important because that's one lesson that No. I am forever grateful that I have a mom who was able to teach me that prayer has such a power and that I can sow seed in my future through prayer, because trust me guys, it works. Okay, now I'll try to be brief with the other points because I feel like this is long. Now the second lesson I've learned from my mom is there's so many things here. Well, let me talk about how to be money wise. Yes, my mom is one of the, we used to think that my mom was stingy when we were kids. I don't talk much about my childhood, but but I drop hints here and there for you guys to have an idea of the kind of childhood I have. Especially if you're subscribed to Truth and Tales, please go and subscribe to Truth and Tales podcast channel, okay, on YouTube, Truth and Tales podcast, okay, with me and Yemi. In the last video we did, we're talking about African parenting and how, African discipline, their parents and the rest of it, and I shared a lot about my background and how, some of the ways my mom raised me kind of traumatized me as an adult, and and all of this. I shared a lot about her actually in that video, so go and watch that video, okay? My mom actually watched that video. I wish I wanted to read her response to you, okay, but it's on this phone and I don't have time. But she watched the video just 2 days ago, and you could tell that she was overwhelmed by some of the things I said. But then she sent me a message, and I wish I can read that message to you guys, honestly. Let me see if I can. Right, when I actually read this message, I was very emotional because I felt like, okay, honestly, when I was saying those things in that video, I really thought, because my mom is also a no-nonsense person, she should have called me, and I thought she would be offended, but apparently she was not. She actually understood what I was trying to say, and she actually sent me this message to explain herself and why she ended up being like that. And anything she's saying here is not something I don't know. It's something I knew, and I even talked about in that video, right? But let me just read it. She said, "Good morning. I glorify the name of the Lord today that you are becoming what I want you all to be." Right? Growing up in the barracks was not easy. Number 2, every godly parent loves to see their children. Every godly parent seeing other children doing well would like his or her own children to do far above. Okonjo-Iweala, she's the president of World Bank, is a wonderful woman controlling the economy of the whole world today. No parent will like her child to be left behind. Number 3, you also remember how you used to pressurize me then. Oh, yes. Number 4, going on 12 hours duty. I mentioned how, she used to be on 12 hours duty. Like, she literally is not around for a whole day, and then the following day she'll be on half day, and then the following day she's on 12 hours duty, when we're growing up. She said, going on 12 hours duty, returning, instead of resting, picking up cartons of egg to Ota. If you know Lagos, you know where Ota is. From Ota to Obasanjo farm. Sometimes animal care at Ogun State. She's living from state to state selling crates of eggs. At Ogun State, coming back, running after Coke truck. Yeah, she was also selling Coca-Cola. That's whilst having a full-time job. She was selling eggs from not that she was importing and exporting, she was selling eggs from one state, walking eggs. Anyways, she said, sometimes animal care to Ogun State, coming back, running after Coke for 26 crates of minerals. That's Coca-Cola bottle, right? The 2 days, struggling just for you all to be at least average and not below average or under your mate. It was not an easy journey, though I realized it early, but if I did not take the steps that I took then by disciplining you guys that harshly, she was all over the place. But then she went on to say, you remember how many times I woke up in the middle of the night doing vigil, waking you all up to join me. We were the rejected stone then. But today I am surprised and thankful to Almighty God where all of you are today, which I know and I trust God that you all are still in nursery from where God is taking you all to. It went on and on. So she was basically trying to tell me that, yes, she understood that she made a lot of mistakes when it comes to disciplining us when we were kids. However, you know, if you watch that video, I actually talked about how she ended up, you know, when she called the family meeting and the rest of it. Go and watch that video on the Truth and Tales podcast, okay, channel. So she was more or less telling me that, yes, she knew she made mistakes, but I should also try to see from her angle and all this stress that was on her. I'll talk about those things as we move on, but yes, so that was her response to me. And I was talking about how to be money wise. My mom, oh my god, was that the point I'm talking about? Yeah. My mom really taught me how to be disciplined with money. We used to think that she was very selfish, very self-centered at the time because, you know, we didn't have the good things of life. We did not. And although we did, I grew up with a father. So I don't want you to think I grew up an orphan, okay? I grew up with a father. Maybe I'll talk about my dad some other time, but I don't want to bring him into this. But my mom was basically the one who was catering for us. So she was basically just, so I learned how to be money wise. She was never a person to spend money on anything frugal. She always worked with a budget. She always knew what we needed, and she only gave us what we needed because that was the only thing that she could afford. Okay, I can count how many times I ever saw my mom buy a new clothes for herself when we were kids. I can count how many times I ever saw her collected salary and went to buy a new shoe. I can count how many times that people would bring, you know, then if you're a Nigerian, you know the concept of ashwebi. When your friends are having party, they usually pick clothes or material for you guys to sew, like a uniform material. You know, I can count how many times my mom will go out with her friends and she's the only one wearing something different because she has used the last money on her to pay our school fees and to send us to school. She taught me how to spend wisely. When I was growing up, we didn't, you know, I always say that we're giving 10 naira to school. When I got to university, they increased it to 20 naira. We didn't have much, okay? So she helped me to learn how to manage with what little I have, how to be content, you know, how to be content regardless of how much I have, how to be able to live till today, you know. If I have 5,000 naira, if 5,000 naira is the only thing I have, I can eat for 1 month and be okay. Literally. She taught me how to manage money, how to, even till now, no matter how much I have, I don't know how to go and be buying something small. Buying in bulk, I've learned from childhood that buying in bulk saves money. So even when I'm swimming in money, I always feel like, you know, instead of buying this thing one, let me buy it in bulk. Let me spend everything I have to spend so that I know that we have food to eat. Money is going to come and go. Money is like a spirit. You know, I learned all of those things from her, okay? Now, the next lesson that I learned is that I learned how to invest. Now, this also has to do with money, how to invest. I'm going to tell you a story that I don't think I've ever shared, and I don't know if she would even approve of me sharing it, but I'll share it anyways. When my dad passed on, it was in the force, okay? It was an Air Force personnel, and when he died, of course, they usually give us or give the families of the deceased gratuity, chicken change, more or less, to say thank you for your service, or, you know, your father died in service, so this is our way of saying, of showing our no, it's gratuity, actually, it's entitlement, you know. Yeah. So they shared it to us. I'm not going to disclose the amount, but in my father's family, the wives don't matter, okay? They don't give the wife anything. It's only the children. So if you are his wife and you didn't have children for him, the money will go to his family. So when they shared the money, they gave some amount of money to me, my brother, and my sister, okay? Of course, that money was given to my mom. So she called me, I remember, my sister was in school then. She called me and she asked me that, what should she use the money for? That should she put it in the bank and put it in a fixed deposit, and money should be coming out, you know, so that there'll be little by little interest. And me, as a naive girl, should she buy a land? And I'm like, why would you buy a land? Just put the money in the bank, let the money be growing. Because in my own head as a child then, when you put money back, the money grows like so big, you understand? But it doesn't work that way. Unless you are doing a high risk investment and the rest of it. But I don't know, for some reason she chose not to go with my stupid childish advice, and she decided to buy a land for each and every one of us. She bought a land for me, she bought a land for my brother, she bought a land for my sister. I'm not going to tell you if the land is still existing or we have sold it, but that was what she did. You know, as a then, I didn't understand, like, why would you go, like, what? And, you know, she ended up building on the land and doing stuff. And now that I'm grown, I understand the wisdom in that. Listen, I have a lot of friends, okay, who were in the same position. Their father died in the Air Force or died whilst in service, and they were given the money. The mom, you know, rather put it in the bank or use it to invest in a business that ended up not flourishing, and what, you know, everything they just spent the money anyhow. But my mom was really wise to say, this money, yes, it is for my children, but it was given to me. She could have chosen to use that money. After all, she's been the one paying our school fees, buying our clothing us, feeding us, and doing everything. She could have even gone to use them, because trust me, that money is not up to how much she was paying for my school fees in university for one semester. Yes, I mean, it was not. That's to tell you that the money was not even a lot. But so she could have been justified to use the money, but she taught me how to put money to good use. Those things she bought then, if we are to evaluate it now, to ask how much those properties are now, they've tripled, you know, the amount that she bought it, if not even more. That's for you to see that she, even at that time, she was wise, you understand. The next thing I want to talk about is she taught me how to fight when you're the only one. Yeah, she taught me how to fight. When your back is against the wall and there is nobody there, she taught me how to fight. When growing up again, it wasn't an easy, she didn't have an easy marriage. That's the truth. She had the toughest marriage. And even in all of that, maybe that's a different point actually. My mom never, ever sat us down to tell us that this is a marital problem. Ever. You understand? We knew what was happening, but she never, she always felt like it's none of your business. This is my choice. This is my decision. I made a decision to be with this person and all of that. That's taking responsibility. That's it. Maybe I'll talk about that next, okay? But I was talking about wisdom, how to fight when you're the only one. So I already mentioned that my dad died and we're staying in the barracks. So obviously when your father dies in service and you know there's no one working in the Air Force anymore, so you have to leave. They would literally chase you guys out of the barracks. So this is where everything usually goes south for most military personnel, okay? Because most of them spend their life, and including my father, I'm not even saying, like, spend their life thinking that they will not leave Air Force. But you only have 30-something years, or 35 years, or 30 years, and you have to leave. Most of them forget to invest, they forget to buy land, they forget what will happen when, you know, they are chased out of where they are living. Most of them rely so much on that peanuts they give them in their gratuity, right? That's what they are now using to manage after retirement, okay? Money that you will spend in the next 2, 3, 4, 6 months, you understand? Many of them live that way. They live their life recklessly because they are posting from one place to another, which was inclusive of my dad. But my mom, she was a visionaire. She saw the future. Now, what do I mean? Okay. In some of my videos, I've made mention of, oh my God, who is this tailor now? Anyway, so yes, I've mentioned in some of my videos that I used to make references like my mother's house. You know, you came to carry me from my mother's house and the rest of it. That was because, okay, so when we're younger, right, when we're still quite young, I heard that my mom was building. I didn't understand, like, why are you building? You know, why are you building? Because in my naive thought at that time, I always thought that, oh, we live in this barrack forever. You know, I didn't understand, you know, the dynamics. And usually, even if we have to leave, it's because your father has built a house. I've never heard that your mother built a house, or they are living and they are going to their mother's house. I have never heard of it ever. So I didn't understand that. But when I was about, I think, 11 or 12, I got to know my mom was building. I didn't even know. I think she came, an architect came to the house, right? And they were looking at building stuff and she was talking about it. And that's how I got to know, because she didn't tell us, or she didn't tell me, because I later found out, okay, Mom, I still have in mind that she took my sister and my brother to the foundation, whatever, but she didn't take me. Yeah, I'm sure for reasons, I'm sure she didn't want to be suspicious. My brother was still a baby then. So anyways, so she took us, so I heard, so she started building when she was quite younger. She started building the moment she realized that, when she started to know that there will be other people contending for the peanuts that, you know, my father has after he retires. We're not even thinking anything about debt, okay? We're thinking about, you know, when he retires, what happens to us. She was able to see our future, right? And to help us to make plans, to help us to make sure that we are not stranded in the future. Then my mother was not earning much. If you've ever heard me talk about my childhood, you realize that we didn't really have much. But out of that nothing that she has, out of the nothing, the peanuts she was being paid, out of the peanuts she pays my school fees, pays my sister's school fees, my brother's school fees, out of the peanuts she, you know, we live, we eat and everything, out of that peanut she was building. Now, when everything became, you know, south, my dad died and we had to leave. Number one, they were not even paying the money to begin with, okay? There was a lot of struggles before getting the money. Number two, even when the money came, remember I said they split the money within the children. It's not only the three of us my father gave birth to. He has other kids that he gave birth to, about 5. Yeah, but I'm not going to go into that anyways. So yes, so they have splitted the peanuts in what? In 3, 6, 7, 8. In 8 or 9 ways, right? And the family will take their own, you understand? Imagine peanuts splitted that way. Is it that money you now want to be using to run around to look for where to rent? If you even use it to pay house rent for 1 month or for even 1 year, what happens after then? You understand? But you know, when the push came to shove, there was no worries. There was nowhere I was going to go to. Like many of my friends, you know, their parents had to resort to going to their village. I know so many of my friends that had to go back to their village to live in their grandfather's house, who is dead now, that their father has now inherited the property, for you to understand. My mom actually built. So when everything push came to shove, you know, they chased us out or they asked us to leave, and we had somewhere to go. We had a better place to go. I grew up till I was 15 when we left the barrack. We were living in a 1-room apartment, 1 parlor, 1 bedroom, 1 toilet, 1 kitchen. That was how we lived, okay? My parents slept, or my mom slept in the bedroom. You know, if my step siblings are around, I would sleep on the floor in the room. They would sleep on the floor in the parlor. Like, just a really dramatic place, right? So we grew up in depravity, okay? And then when my father died and we had to leave, we moved into an apartment of 4 bedrooms, of great space, of 24 hours water supply, of, you know, everything just fell into place. Because she saw, or she was able to see ahead. And when she didn't have anyone, when she didn't have any support, she was able to discipline herself so much that, you know, she was able to build for her future. I think that's the point I'm actually trying to, you know, talk about, where, you know, she's a visionary. I learned how to see ahead, or to look ahead of my present circumstance, and to make plans and preparations for my future. Because if not for her, honestly, after my dad died, or even before he died, I don't know where we'll be today. Honestly, we would have been like, oh my God. Yeah, so she taught me that, okay? The next point I'm going to talk about is my mother taught me how to fight for your children. I really pray that when God starts to bless my family, you know, I will be able to have half the balls my mom had. My mom has always believed in, she has always been a person that she will always say that if I have to walk naked, I don't have any clothes, for you guys to have a good education, I would. If I have to sell my everything I have, and this is not if I have to, I've seen my mom sell her clothes, sell her jewelries, sell things, you know, just because I need to go to school, to pay my school fees and all. So what was the point I'm talking about? Okay, how to fight for your child. There's one example I will never forget in my life. One thing that happened when I was a child, okay? I was never the brightest student in primary school. I always say that I was never the brightest student in primary school. So after primary school, I went to Air Force Primary School. So you mostly, because Air Force Primary School, when I was in school, my highest school fees in Air Force Primary School then was 750 naira, because they subsidized, like they almost remove the cost of the school fees if your father is in the force, okay? Now, the ideal thing is that when I finish Air Force Primary School, I'm supposed to move to Air Force Secondary School, and I'm supposed to write a common entrance examination and pass to get there. But I wrote the common entrance examination and I failed. I remember I have an elder sister. She also did not get into Air Force Secondary School, and my mom had put her in a private school. We're coming from where we're paying 750 naira a year, okay? I think my sister said was 300 naira, to where you are now paying 30,000 naira per term a year. So my mom, you know, because my mom has always believed in education and giving her children the best kind of education, she asked my sister, she put my sister in the private school, and she was the only one paying because okay, anyways. So when it was my turn, I wrote the exams, I didn't pass. And I remember this very Saturday morning, I can never forget. When you grow up in the barracks, every Saturday they usually have something called fatigue. It's like environmental. They will call one child representative of every house to come out and cut the grass and do stuff. I remember that day so clearly. It was a Saturday. My dad called me to the living room and called my mom. And he said, I didn't pass my exams. I said, yes. And he said, okay, there are two options he has for me. He said, I go to Oshodi High School, or I go to Ikeja Grammar School, or Ikeja High School, or Oshodi Grammar School. Now, Ikeja High School and Oshodi Grammar School are public schools. And public schools in Nigeria are not like public schools in the United States or in other parts of the world. Public schools in Nigeria are where, when you're going to school, you carry your own chair to school, you know, every day and bring it back. As at that time, there was no chairs, no blackboard. You smoke, you drink. It was more or less like a juvenile, you understand? That was how public school was then. So he gave me those options, that those are the options that I have, because that's the kind of school fees he'll be able to afford. And when he asked me that, I told him I am not going to public school. And he said, well, I have to choose because that is the only option I have. And I remember my mom looked at me, and I don't know the balls she had. She came to the living room. Actually, my dad didn't call her. He only called me. I was there and I was crying. I can't go to public school because I know that if I go there, things go spoil. You understand? Because when we're in the barracks, the influence, not to talk of in public schools. Anyway, so my mom came in and she said, my child is not going to go to either Ikeja High School or Oshodi Grammar School. That she's going to put me in the same school that she had my sister in, the private school. And yeah, and my father told her right there and then that if you put her there, it means you are the one paying for the school fees. And she said, the God that has been helping me to carry for the first one is going to do for the other one. Remember, I talk about my mom's relationship with God. I remember that day, and remember, if you've been following the story on Truth and Tales, you will know that me and my mom didn't have the best of friendship growing up. I did not like my mom. Oh my God, I can almost use the H word. Like, I did not like her. But that day, I was so grateful to her. Like, I know I will pay for it though. I know I'm going to work for it, but I was so grateful. I feel like someone just rescued me out of hell, or the hell I was about to go into. So, and that was it. My mom was struggling to pay my sister's school fees, you know, moving from 300 naira to 30,000 naira. It was a struggle, but now she had to pay for two people, and now it was tough. But my mom did it with the help of God. She did it. Now, I don't want you guys to have a bad perception about my dad. I'll tell you about my dad. Maybe I'll tell you about my dad in another video. Maybe in another time. But yeah, a lot of things went wrong along the way. But I'm not going to dwell on that. Today is about my mom. Oh, hi guys. Sorry about that. I actually got called into a 30-minute long meeting, and it seems like it's about to start raining, so I need to round up with this. I don't know if I'll be able to get to 10. I don't even know what number I am now, but I was talking about how my mom helped me out, and I ended up not going to public school, and she was able to pay my school fees and all. And then, of course, it was time to go to the university. It was another tough time because we also, you know, Nigeria, Palava, you write JAMB, you pass. It was my sister's turn first. She wrote JAMB, she passed. She wrote her WAEC, she passed. She got admitted into LASU. And on the year she was supposed to resume, they disaccredited her course. It means she has to stay at home and rewrite JAMB, rewrite WAEC, which is a hell. I mean, which is hell. Like, literally, if you know anyone from Nigeria, they'll tell you. So because of that, you know, my sister got an opportunity in Ghana, and she went to Ghana to school. As at the time, her school fees was about 250-something thousand naira. You know, it was a lot of money, a lot of money. But for a woman who, you know, my mom was already, she had 2 years or 4 more years in service at work, and she was only like, she was earning plenty. So all of my mom's salary till she retired, I don't think it's ever entered 200,000 naira. Yes, a month. I don't think it ever even got close to that. But she had other things she was doing. My mom is a jack of all trades. She would do anything, everything. At the time my mother was selling tissue paper, she was selling suits. I cannot count how many business my mom had done in her lifetime, just to make sure that we have the best. So my sister moved and she went to school, you know, and then I finished and I wrote JAMB. I passed JAMB. I wrote WAEC. I passed WAEC. Oh yeah, give me admission now. And I became something. Unilori refused to pick me, and I picked Unilori as my first and second choice. So I had the option of staying another year and reapplying, rewriting JAMB and all of that. And that was going to be hell for me because I don't like school and I don't like exams. And it was just frustrating because I was so frustrated. My friends had gone to school. I was the only one left and all of that. But again, I was depressed. I was always crying. My mom, you know, tried to encourage me. And, you know, one day she just, you know, she spoke to my sister's then boyfriend, who got me an admission in a school, in a communication school in Ghana. And, you know, I was told, oh, you know, they got me a school in Ghana. I'm going to go to Ghana instead of waiting for Nigeria system. And the reason why she was hell-bent on us going to school that year was because she had 4 more years in service, okay? So she had 4 years to make sure that at least me and my sister are done with school so that she can focus her attention on my brother after retirement, or even during, because my brother would go to secondary school like 2 years later. Okay, so I need to hurry up. I need to go and pack clothes outside for this rain starts. So I think this will be the last point I'll share. So what was I even talking about? Yeah, so it was my turn to go to secondary school. Now, remember I said my sister's school fees was highest, maybe 300,000, maybe 250,000 naira. So they got me a school that does not accept payments in cedis. Cedis is the currency in Ghana. They only accept payments in dollars. So obviously, your school fees is based on exchange rates. So as at the time I was going, my school fees was 250,000 naira. Okay, my mom struggled to be able to get 1 year school fees. That's 500,000 naira for a year. It was a lot of struggle, trust me. For we that to even get, anyways, it was a lot of struggles. But she did it. She got 500,000 naira. She paid for 1 year. That was the amount I paid for my first semester, 250,000 naira. The school fees I paid on my graduation day was 1.5 million naira. Look at the gap from 250. The money did not increase, though. It was still 1,600 and something dollars. But as at the time when I resumed, 1,600 and something dollars, when you convert it in naira, was 250,000 naira. By the time I was graduating, it was 1.5 or 1.2 million naira. It had not even tripled. It had, but my mom did it. I never missed a semester. I never, okay, I think I was chased for school fees once. I was not allowed to enter the school for school fees once, ever. And, you know, the following day, the school fees was paid. Okay, it's not like I had to leave, I had to, you know, forgo a semester or anything. It never happened. So, this way I will end. I couldn't share 10 because it's going to rain now. Everywhere will be noisy. I have to prepare to go and pick some people. And yeah, so this way I'm going to end. This is just for you to have an idea of, you know, my upbringing. I hope I've been able to bring you guys closer, and I hope I've been able to share about my mom with you guys. Maybe in another video I'll be able to tell you more about some of her sacrifices and some of the things she did for us. But trust me, everything I've shared is not even, if it was a book, it's not even up to chapter, it's not even half of chapter 1 of the story of my mom and us growing up. But this is just to say, Mom, happy birthday. 55 looks great on you. You look beautiful. You grow younger every day. I am thankful to have you as my mom. I love you so much. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for the lessons you taught me directly and indirectly. Thank you for the kind of woman that you raised me to be. I am grateful to you. I am grateful to God for everything that, you know, that I am. Everything that I am today, you know, I owe it to God and I owe it to you. So thank you so much. I love you so much. You have no idea how much I love you, how much I appreciate you. My siblings, all of us, we love you so, so much. You know, yes, sometimes we annoy you and you annoy us. You know, with your worry. My mom can worry for Africa. That's another thing that she taught me. She can worry. Oh my God. But yeah, thank you so much, Mom. I love you and I wish you an amazing year. This is 55 to go. Thank you so much, guys. If you love this video, leave a thumbs up. Wish my mom a happy birthday, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you once again for joining me. My name is to remain Victoria Ayodele Fash. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. Mwah.